Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today is all about focus stacking in darktable. Well, I say in darktable, we do know that darktable does not do actual in-house focus stacking. So we're going to need to use some external software. We're going to use four. We're going to use Affinity Photo, but the equivalent would be Photoshop, GIMP, whatever, that can actually manage photo focus stacking. We're going to use a free open source app, which is basic but works really well. And we're going to use the two main commercial ones, which are Helicon Focus and Zerene Stacker. So this is all about the setup. It can be a bit technical, but once you've got it, it works like a charm. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a voyage. Let's do this together then. Off we go. Right then, let's start by giving a quick reminder of what focus stacking really is and why it's necessary. So I've actually made a stack of 20 photos of this flower here, which I saw in the garden, full screen. You can see it there. If anyone knows what it is, I'd be pleased to learn. So leave that in the comments below and I'd be grateful. So as you see, the depth of field is very shallow, which is something I was looking for to blur out the background completely, but I also want the flower to be perfectly in focus. So as you can see, the area that is sharp is very, very small in each image. So different parts of the flower, as I scroll through the 20 photos, are coming in and out of focus. So the whole aim, that's a previous photo, sorry. So the whole aim, let's go back into full screen, out of full screen. The whole aim is to stack those, combine them all to make a single photograph. I'll start, which I always do this, by developing one. Now I will take one which is somewhere kind of there, maybe that one there, where I can see the flower and not just the tip of something I'm not interested in. I'll actually mark this one with a red dot and I'll open that and I'll apply some basic editing. So maybe exposure, which I have a shortcut if I stay pressed on E. It's not very pretty, is it? But stay pressed on E and then mouse wheel. I have filmic here, which I can adjust a little bit. I think I'll have to adjust that quite a lot. The black relative exposure will go up. I might add a little bit of contrast. This seriously needs color. So let's get it on the vibrant colors. I'm not going to crop or rotate. I want all the pixels as they are because you'll see as it stacks, then the actual frame will get smaller and the flower will appear larger in the frame. Because as the focus goes through, then the focal length of the camera, the lens, sorry, the focal length of the lens is actually changing very slightly. What else could I do? A bit of sharpening here. I will actually sharpen, so I'll put it sharpen demosaicing, and I'll add another instance with our lens deblur. That should give me a nice sharp image. I'm not going to do anything else on this photo for the sake of going a little bit faster. Now I've had the red dots. I know which one I actually changed. I've actually edited. I'll go to the history stack, copy that, and then I can select the whole lot and paste. Now as stacking goes, there are three methods we're going to look at. The first one is the basic one where I'll actually just export all these to a safe folder and I'll stack them in some other software. So a reminder is that darktable does not actually do focus stacking. So I'll export these. Now I have a preset made which is called stacking TIFF. I will usually do it in TIFF if I want to keep the photo. Just for the sake of speed, I'll change the output file format to JPEG. I've selected all 20 photos and I will export these photos. So it's exporting them, 20 images, and now we have, you see, an interesting text here, which is actually telling me what darktable is doing. So let's go through these quickly. There, the 20 photos have been exported. Let's look on the hard drive. Now I have the 20 images here in JPEG in a folder I use for stitching, panoramas and for stacking. And the first piece of software I use, which isn't free, it's Affinity Photo 2, which is relatively cheap, and it's a one-off buy. There's no subscription to this. So in Files, I can have a new focus merge, and then I will add the images to the focus stack. Now it's already in the right folder, so I'll just select all the JPEGs, open them, and then it's pretty automatic from there. I'll just ask it to stack the photos. Now it's converting to sRGB, which is a bit strange because I actually export in sRGB. There could be two different versions. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. This is quite fast. Right, go, go, go. 20 images, and there we have them. So we have a nice clear photo where all the parts of the flower that were individually in focus in each of the 20 photos have now been stacked. I can, I think, I want to zoom in there and look at the quality of the stacking. Now, I didn't do any denoising, I don't think. Sorry about that, press on space to pan. I think that's quite a decent attempt at a stack. Now, if you don't want to use Affinity Photo and you want to have a free option, now I think that you can get through with GIMP, maybe with the GMIC extensions. I think they use Infuse, which is the same thing as Hugging. The panorama stitching software that can do focus stacking too. I've left all that alone. I'm very sorry. I do not understand how it works. So I did look and I found an app called Focus Stack on GitHub by Petteri Emonen. So thank you to him. He has a very easy to use piece of software, which is cross-platform. There are releases here on the GitHub Releases tab. I'll put a link down at the bottom so you can get to this. You download the one that is pertinent to your operating system. So for me, it's Mac. That will go straight to the downloads folder, which I can have access to here. And now you'll know that on Mac, if I try and execute that, then it will tell me it's damaged, can't be opened. It's all about permissions. So what you need to do is do a bit of voodoo with a terminal. So let's open a terminal and CD downloads. So here we have the focus stack. It's a folder. Normally the command is xattr -c, and then you put the name of the software you downloaded to be able to execute it. But as it's a folder, I want to give the permission or the attribution to all the files in the folder. I'll put -cr focus stack. There we are. Enter. Let's close the terminal, and this should execute now. You can also just get that app and stick it in your applications folder, and it works fine. It's asking me now to choose. Now, I've already used this, so it has actually remembered again, which is useful sometimes. It's the right folder. I mean, otherwise, just navigate to the correct folder. I'll choose the images to combine, which is at the top there. I will save the result as output, press on save, and it is processing the images. Now, it's not 0 out of 100 images. I think it's 0 out of 100%. So let's fast wind and see what the result is. Oh, actually, I don't need to cut the video. Do I need to cut the video? Oh, I'll just leave it. It'll be quick. But it's not even 100%. It's a number of steps. That's weird. Anyway, oh, there we are. So let's go into the gallery, stitch. I have an output JPEG, which I can show there, which has done a pretty decent job of stacking. Now, is it as good as Affinity? I don't want to decide and compare. I think there are some artifacts down here and down here. Maybe the image wasn't very clean to start with because I didn't denoise it. But there we are, free open source solution to focus stacking. Now the next steps are a little bit more technical because what I'd like to do is to be able to export these straight from Darktable into some external software. So that will be Helicon Focus or Zerene Stacker, which are both commercial software which you have to pay for, but do a focus stacking extremely well. And I'd like to be able to use those as a plugin and have the result directly imported back into Darktable. Now, the first thing I need to do here is to export these as TIFF or JPEG files, and I like to do that straight and keep them in the library because the whole point is to is to stay in Darktable. So you'll see that in the export options here, there is one which is collection. So you don't have target storage because the file will be stored in the same folder as the raw file. You can choose the format. I'm going to use JPEG. I'm going to select all of the 20 images and I'll export the 20. On Helicon Focus, you can actually export and stack the raw files, but they use they need to have a converter, an external converter. You need to have an external converter installed on your system, and Helicon Focus will actually convert your raw files to a DNG and then stack them. And I think you lose the whole point of having a control over how you edit your photos in Darktable. So I actually don't do that. So it's exporting now. I'm at 10 on 20 photos exported to collection. Let's go straight to the end. Right, so all my files have been exported and re-imported into the library. So I'm actually going to select those. I'm going with the help of a little filter up here just to get the JPEGs. And then I can select those. And the idea now will be to be able to get them into Helicon. Now, I'm going to have to use a Lua script to do that. Now, the Lua script you'll find in the bottom left-hand corner in the script manager. Now, if you haven't installed them, you will find an install button. And once you've done that, you have access to all sorts of Lua scripts, which we have here. I want to not configure them, but you'll see start, stop. There we are. That's what I was looking for. And you have examples here. These are already present in Darktable and Contrib. I do use a few like quick tagging, and I've already done a video on that. Anyway, I use quite a few. And then I'm going to use one now, which was made by Christian Berza. And here is the URL to get to that. And I'll put the URL down in the notes below. What you can do is you can copy. So Command C, and you can come down into Darktable, install update, and if you paste the URL here in this line, and I'm going to put a new category which I'll call My Lua, and I'm going to install the additional scripts, and that has installed them directly. So no messing around, you don't need to do anything on the hard drive, and you've got them there. If that doesn't work, then you can always do it manually. What you do is you choose the Lua script you want to install in Darktable, download linked file as, so I'll put that in downloads, make sure it keeps the extension .lua. Let's go into the downloads and it's here, so I'll copy that and I'll go into my library. Now I need to find the hidden file, so on Mac it's Command Shift and dot. I'm sure on Linux and Windows you'll find the .config file. A quick Google search, you'll find where it is. You have a Darktable folder, and then you have a Lua folder. And if you want to, you could make, I'll do this. I'll put new Lua, and I can paste my Helicon Focus into that. And then what I'd need to do is restart Darktable. I'm not actually sure 100% you need to restart it actually, but it does need to read the tree of the Lua folder. So I have new Lua here with the Helicon Focus script and the MyLua, which is there with the same one. And I don't want to have duplicates, so I'll erase the new Lua and I'll keep the MyLua, which is this one here. And all you need to do is start that. It's loaded MyLua for Helicon Focus, and now I have a Helicon Focus module here in which I can just select the images and click on stack. You can use original RAW, but as I said, you'd have to have a DNG converter installed on your machine. I can group them together, copy tags. Now, you need to go into the settings and the Lua options here to exactly find the Helicon Focus executable. So Helicon Focus executable is somewhere in the Mac OS. It's not easy to get to these on Mac because if you're on applications and you go to Helicon Focus, we go down to Helicon Focus, this is actually a folder, you see. So what I'd need to do is actually get access to the middle of that. Now you can try and open it and open the folder. If I just open this, then I have Helicon Focus.app, and you'll see that that does not work. If I go to stack, it's exporting the images, and then it will say, can't find Helicon Focus. There we are, cannot start Helicon Focus applications. So I can show you how to do that. Well, I can show you one method anyway. Now what I'll do is, first of all, do something rather silly and go back into the Lua options, Helicon Focus app, and take a random app which has nothing to do with Helicon Focus, so books.app. Then I'll quit darktable. You need to quit darktable for this. Go back into the config folder, darktable, and open with a text editor the darktable RC file, which contains all your settings for darktable, and open that with a text editor. Now it's quite big. Now, if you're looking for the right line, then this is the one. I'm going to look for books.app, which is the silly app I just put in. And I know books.app. I know this is the line where I need to put the exact path name for the Helicon Focus app. Now I can go into applications, and this works if you're in applications, but not when you're in darktable. And look for the Helicon Focus. Open show package contents, and in here you'll find Mac OS, and this is the Helicon Focus executable. That's the one you want. So right click, and instead of copy, if you press on option, you'll find copy Helicon Focus as path name. Select that, go back to where you were with the system applications, and then do the Command V for paste. And now you've got the exact app in the right place. Save that. You can quit your text editor and start up darktable again. And now this time it's going to work. So I'll go select all the JPEGs into the Helicon Focus module. I'm going to copy the tags. I will group, and I'll actually put a new tag, and I'll put no, not that, stacked. There we are, and stack. Because then I can do a search, you see, through the stack. Now what it's doing here is it's exporting the images into a temporary folder. It will stack the files and then erase that folder afterwards. So let's do method B. We're in Helicon Focus here. All the files are on the right. Let's just stack with method B, which is the one I prefer. And we have one possible output. Do method C just to get two, just to show you that you can do as many as you like. There we are. I have now two outputs. I can save these. So save all. And now this I've prepared in advance, but you can choose the specified folder. Now this is one of the reasons I actually have all my files named as year, month, day, because at any quick look at the file name, I know where it goes. And I want to save my stacked files next to the originals, all in the same folder. JPEG will do, 90% quality, that's fine. Okay, two files saved. Now you need to quit Helicon Focus before going into darktable. And now the files have been imported. and they are JPEGs, and they have different names. So you can actually tell it's this one here, which has a B, if you're looking at the names here. But if I want to, I could just do stacked here, you see, with the tag. And these are the two JPEG files that were imported, and these are the two stacked photos. So different methods of stacking give different results. Well, that is there and back, in and out of Helicon Focus. Works a charm. This is the one I use all the time. Now, if you're a fan of Zerene Stacker instead of Helicon Focus, I will remove that there. Actually, I should have removed those while they were visible. So anyway, we'll just, tag them. I'll actually remove those. Let's get back to that. If you're a fan of Zerene Stacker, there is a Lua script, which is here, made by a lovely person called Fiona, who I corresponded with, and she helped me to install this and get it working on my machine. So I want to share that with you today. There is a Zerene Stacker.lua, which you can use, and she also made one for DxO Pure Raw. Now, logically, if I copy this, now this is where I also need help because I'm also in trouble, just like everyone from time to time. If I paste the URL here and type in my Lua and install the additional scripts, then it says the category is already in use and specify a different category name. I actually want to get those into my Lua. I don't want to put them in another one. So the only way I have of doing that is to actually download the file, download linked file. So that's a lua.html. You want to download linked file as, sorry about that zoom, Zerene Stacker.lua. Come on, zoom out. Thank you. And get this. There are always quirks with using computers. In the downloads, I don't want the Zerene Stacker HTML. I want the Zerene Stacker.lua. Go into the library, show the hidden files, config, darktable, Lua, and my Lua. And here I can paste the Zerene Stacker.lua. Let's see if that appears. If I go into start, stop, my Lua, I don't think it will. No reason why it should. So you see I need to restart Darktable so it can see the new script. So let's restart there. There, and now I have Zerene Stacker stopped and now started, and that failed to load. I'll tell you why. Now, the thing with downloading files is that sometimes you actually don't know what you're downloading. Now, if I go into my Lua and open this as a text editor, you'll actually notice that although it was saying it was downloading a Lua script, it's actually downloaded the HTML, which is a load of rubbish. So what I want to do is get the real information there. So if you click on Zerene Stacker, you can download this raw file here. That one will work. Or you can copy the raw file, go in the text editor. Now Command A, erase that. And then if you paste, you've got that there. So I'll save that, go straight back into Darktable and start it. Now, it was already started when I switched on because I was testing that. But anyway, that's how it works. So be careful you're actually downloading the Lua file and not an HTML. It has happened to me. Easy mistake to make. So now I have a Zerene Stacker module here. Now it doesn't work as, well, it's a bit more difficult to put into place than the Helicon Focus, but it does work really well. Now I've come back into the Darktable scripts here. And there is some documentation. There are a couple of things to do. prior to the first run, I can let you read this. You need to create a Stacker staging folder, which is you need to specify the folder in which everything will happen for the plugin. You also need to give a link to the license key, and you need to have an empty batch script inside your Stacker staging folder. Right, so the Zerene license folder, you have it for Mac, Windows, and Linux. And that happens when you go into the Zerene, no, not Zerene, sorry, the darktable lure options, Zerene license folder. I already fixed mine there. The Zerene Java folder here, you will find if you go into your apps, there into your apps, you have Zerene Stacker. Well, this is just the basic containing.app folder. So you need to do the same thing as before. You need to get the package contents and you need to select the Java, right click. You need to copy Java as path name. Then you want to quit darktable. I know it's a hassle. Once it's done and you've got everything settled, I mean, you'll be fine. Go back into the config. I should have kept this darktable RC open in brackets. There we are, and Zerene. You can also do the silly tricks again. And here you have the applications Zerene Stacker.app contents resource Java. And if I paste on top of that, it's the method I've just used, it is the same one. And the license folder, you see users, my username, Nick, library preferences, Zerene Stacker, that's on Mac. And I have users, Nick Stage as my staging folder, but you can do that from anywhere. Now, you're supposed to quit darktable. See the dot there, unquit. Because if you make changes while darktable, you see, is active, then you'll have external changes here. And if I reload from disk, whatever changes you made have been erased. So don't make the mistake of leaving darktable running while you're changing the darktable RC file. Now, it won't change much for me because I was right. I had everything set in correctly before. Now, we're not done. So you need to go to the NIC, here, your users folder. I have a staging folder. And you need to have a Zerene batch.xml. It has to be written exactly like that. And it has to contain, I'll open this with a file, it has to contain kind of some type of information for Zerene Stacker that you don't need to understand at all. But if you go to details can be found on Zerene Systems doc, you'll find here a sample batch script, which you can just copy, go to your text editor, and I'll do it underneath just so you can see it is exactly what I pasted. And there we have one file here, which needs to stay empty, just like that, in your staging folder to use the Zerene Stacker module. Phew, right, so I have everything. I want to copy tags. I want to put a new tag, so I'll put Zerene. Then I can find the output folder. You'll see it works a charm too. Once everything's set up, you can go and select your files and stack with a Zerene Stacker. And it's exporting some images. And this time we know that it's actually exporting them. You can test this as you go along. It's exporting in TIFF and it's in the staging folder. It will open Zerene Stacker. Okay, I don't want the new version, thank you. It is stacking. It's all automatic. You can adjust the preferences. I'm not an expert on Zerene Stack, but I'm sure that those who are will know exactly what to do. It's going through the files, 18 seconds, 17, 16 left. Now, I'll let you compare the outputs with whatever stacking application you're using. That is not the point. of the video. So output images, I can save the output images. I'll do a 16-bit TIFF. There we are, out into stage. Oh, it already did actually, so you don't even need to save, it's all automatic. But you do need to quit Zerene Stacker. And when you've quit Zerene Stacker, you will get a TIFF file. Obviously, if I remove my filter there for the JPEGs, I'm sure I'll find a TIFF file. Oh, look, it's here, TIFF file. And it has in tagging, it has the new tag, which is Zerene. It has YouTube as well, because those are the ones I wanted to use for this video. And here you have the stacked images made with Zerene Stacker with some strange things on the left there. Oh, okay. So there we are. I think we've gone round the options I wanted to see with you. How to stack in Darktable. No, with Darktable using external software. There and back. Okie doke. I'll let you. Now, your job is to make a tutorial for me on how to use Hugging for stacking, and then we'll be quits. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.